Hello everyone, welcome back to Postcard Colorizeyou. If you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. If you are new here, a warm welcome to you. This is a space where I share life lessons drawn directly from my own real life experiences. Just a quick note, I release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday evening, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. Before we begin, a gentle invitation to visit my home at Colorizeyou.com. I offer a curated collection of t-shirts, hoodies, and motivational wall art simple designs meant to bring strength and inspiration to your daily life. Now, find a comfortable spot. Let's begin today's story. In today's episode, I want to revisit a period of my life about 7 years ago to discuss a specific topic: the trade-offs of life choices. Many people look at the life of a single, independent person living abroad and see it as an ideal existence. Total freedom, no burdens. But is that the whole picture? Or are we only looking at the surface? To analyze this correctly, I need to tell you two stories from my time living in the US. The first story happened on a stormy afternoon. I was at my office when I received an urgent call from my building manager. He said water was leaking from my apartment into the neighbor's unit below. I rushed home. In the US, most of us take the subway to work. It was pouring rain, so by the time I ran from the station to my apartment, I was soaked. But inside, it was worse. The floor was flooded. The cause? A bathroom valve I had tried to fix myself the day before. In Western countries like the US, labor cost is extremely high. So we develop a habit of DIY, do it yourself. We fix our own pipes, paint our own walls. Usually it works. But this time, I failed to tighten the seal, and while I was at work, it burst. Dealing with the aftermath was a logistical nightmare. US apartments use thick carpets. Wet carpet is heavy and smells terrible. I spent the whole evening moving furniture and ripping up the soaked padding. The emergency crew said they couldn't come until the next morning. So, picture the scene. It's late at night. The power is off for safety. The apartment is cold and damp. I sat in a corner, eating instant noodles by candlelight, and that is when the feeling hit me. Normally, I consider myself a strong, independent man. I handle problems logically, but in that specific moment, cold, hungry, and surrounded by chaos, I felt a deep sense of loneliness. It wasn't just about the flood. It was a realization that no one was coming. I was the only line of defense. That is a heavy psychological weight to carry alone. The second story reinforces this point even more clearly. A few weeks later, I had an accident. While trying to change a light bulb, standing on a chair, I fell. My elbow smashed into the bathtub. It was a bad cut, deep, bleeding profusely. I assessed the situation. I needed stitches. But again, I faced the logistical reality of living alone in the US. Calling an ambulance is expensive and slow. I had no roommate to drive me, no partner to call. So I had to be rational. I wrapped a towel around my arm, got into my car, and drove myself to the hospital. One hand on the steering wheel, one hand holding the wound. But the drive wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was the waiting room. It was 1 a.m. in winter. I was still in my pajamas. The hospital was freezing. I sat there for 4 hours waiting for a doctor. A nurse saw me shivering and gave me a blanket. Sitting there, wrapped in a blanket like a child, watching other patients with their families, that same feeling returned. the feeling of being one against the world. This brings me to the core analysis of today's episode. Why do I tell you these stories? To complain? No. I tell them to illustrate a concept called the trade-off. We humans suffer from the grass is greener syndrome. We always look at what we don't have. People with families often look at my life and envy the freedom. They see me traveling, doing what I want, sleeping in late. They think, must be nice to have no responsibilities. But they don't see the nights in the flooded apartment. They don't see the lonely drive to the ER. Conversely, single people look at families and see the warmth, the support, the companionship, but we ignore the arguments, the lack of privacy, the heavy obligations. The logic is simple. You cannot have everything. If you choose freedom, the price is solitude. You must be prepared to handle crises alone. If you choose companionship, the price is compromise. You must be prepared to sacrifice your ego and your time. There is no better choice. There is only the choice that aligns with your values and your ability to pay the price. I have chosen my path. I accept the solitude as the tax for my freedom. But I want you to make your choice with your eyes open. So here is my conclusion. To my younger listeners or those choosing the single life, do not be naive. Freedom is not just parties and travel. It is also resilience. It is learning to be your own doctor, your own mechanic, your own therapist. If you want this life, build your mental toughness. Because when the storm comes, you are the captain, the crew, and the rescue team. And to those with families who feel burdened by their obligations, please remember my story. Next time you are annoyed by your spouse or tired of your children, pause for a second. Realize that those annoyances are actually your safety net. The noise in your house is the sound of life. The arguments mean someone cares enough to fight with you. You have paid a high price for your family, your freedom, so please enjoy the product you bought, companionship. Don't look at my freedom and wish for it, because you might not like the silence that comes with it. That brings us to the end of episode 11 of Postcard Colorizeyou. I hope this analysis gives you a more balanced perspective on your own life choices. I would love to hear from you. Which trade-off have you chosen? And is it worth it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, the algorithm favors engagement. So a simple like or subscribe will help us reach more wandering souls out there. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful evening. Goodbye for now.